Hello everyone, it's Chad, and today I'm actually going to be sharing a few things that I feel are necessary to move forward. I don't really have this scripted, so it may seem like it's a little all over the place, but the concept's still going to be the same. I'm going to talk primarily about typology, kind of what I've come across and why I haven't been doing a lot of what I've been doing. So the first thing is that I got kind of burnt out with typology. A couple people had warned me that that was going to happen, and of course I was in denial about it because let me get some of this light fixed here so you all can see me better. But you know, some people warned me about it. I think there was this guy. His name was crap. I don't even remember what his name was, but he told me that this would happen, and you know, and of course I was in denial, and I said, you know, there's plenty of content to write about, which there is. Typology is an endless depth. It's like a hole. You can keep going down and down and down and down. And why it's a problem and why it's a hole is because there's no clear definitions on it. Okay. So, for example, my thing might be that I think NI is a particular thing and you might think NI is a particular thing, and then there's this clash, right? You're telling me that I'm not NI and I think that I'm NI, or vice versa, right? I might be telling you that you don't have NI and you know that you do according to your definition. So there's a definition issue, right? So when we get into the definitions and we start really digesting the definitions of typology, what we tend to find is that we don't agree on our core definitions of what it is, right? According to Jung, and then we go into this defense. But if you can't agree on definitions, there's no way you can collide two systems. So what I've been doing lately has been that I've been, according to this system, that's what I type as. According to this person's system, I type as something different. According to this person's system, I type as something different. So that's kind of what I've had to do to justify the difference in definition, right? We have plenty of definition differences among a lot of people. You know, so that's problem number one. Problem number two is, even if we do get a definition, how do you measure it, right? How do you measure if someone is using a function when it is purely invisible? It's like something beneath the surface you can't actually see. So that's problem number two, is you can't measure it, right? It's not really objective. It's subjective, right? I think NI is this, but a lot of people, the stereotypes for NI is that you forecast the future. Well, this definition implies that people who don't use NI actively don't forecast the future. It's silly. It's silly, right? Well, SI does that. Well, according to the traditional definition, SI is reflected on the past and from things that you've actually experienced, so it can't be SI. So what is it? Are you just dumb, right? So that's the dumb part about that, right? Is that if you don't use that, well, it has some of those components. Okay, maybe they share the same component, right? Maybe they both forecast the future, right? Maybe SI does too. Well, then what is NI versus what's not? And again, you come to another definition where you have to meet and agree and then move forward. So I kind of just stopped doing typology in general. Not that I haven't been interested. I still study it. I still read it. I still try to understand different theories and different people's perspective. I'm always going to be interested in that core fundamental thing. But the challenge is, like, primarily, what is it that is actually true? What can you actually prove? What can you actually demonstrate? What can you actually do? So anyway, in the midst of this whole big burnout, I'm going to call it, right? This whole, I don't want to post anything because I don't know shit, right? I don't know a damn thing. There's nothing I know about typology. That's kind of my philosophy, is every time I think I know something, I figure out I don't know shit, and then I have to go back and learn more. So I'm not really an expert in it anymore, right? I used to think I was an expert in it, and then I realized I wasn't really an expert in it, and then I'm dumb to it, okay? I don't really know what it is. So I want to give credit to a particular typology system which claims to be objective. I think they're still working out the kinks, but it's going to be Dave Superpowers. And I'll tell you why this particular system is significant. And, you know, so the concept is still the same, right? So this is significant because at the end of the day, it claims to be objective. we're defining these definitions, what they actually mean, which is, I think, is objective, right? What makes it more objective is you can take 10 people, put them all in different rooms, and they can observe the same thing and see the same results. So there's some measure of objectivity in it. What that is, I think they're still working out all the details on that, but it really has, I think, potential to change the direction of which we've gone with typology. All typology is pretty cool, though, right? We can categorize, we kind of have things to explain about ourselves, that type of thing, right? But when you look into it, you actually start saying, okay, it's not objective, so it makes sense to me, but now I'm going to use confirmation bias to further clarify my definition of what typology is, right? So there's the challenge. And this is kind of why I don't post crap on it anymore, because there's nothing to say. So when you really dig into objective typing, which I think everybody should subscribe and take those classes. If you're interested in typology, you should take those classes. Pay for the service, pay for the information, pay for it. I pay for it, and it's cheap. It's like $19 a month. If you can't afford that, then you can't even claim typology as a hobby. I mean, unless you're really, really, really broke, but geez, if you want it that bad, you'll find the money. It's not like, I mean, shit, borrow it from your parents or something if you're that interested in what it is. So that being said, what really changed for me was when I came across this system, I really started digging into it. Unlike Enneagram, unlike Myers-Briggs, unlike everything else I studied, the typology system actually turned into wow, there's an inherent problem. So they threw out claims like, we start seeing the same problems with people within the same type. There's 512 different types in their system, right? 512. Sounds overwhelming. It's really not, if you understand what all that means. But it feels overwhelming at first, but it's not. Trust me. Just bear with me here. As you go through it, you'll realize that they start narrowing it down. People not only sometimes look alike, not all the time, but a lot of the time they look alike, but they also start acting alike. They have the same core life issues. So I was like, okay, let me explore this further. Well, when you start understanding that the system is designed in a sense of, you've got tribe and you've got self, right? And these wrestle with each other. Then you've got concepts and sensory information that wrestle with each other, right? These kind of things can all wrestle with each other, and you figure out, okay, is tribe above self or is self above tribe? Well, this is where it gets really interesting, and this is where I'm really going to kind of probe a little deeper on this, because I always had claimed, that I'm, well, and a lot of people think the same thing. They see me on the surface, right? And they go, wow, you are super confident. You project this confidence. You muster it up. You have this impact. You have this boom. You have this bang, and you have this, right? But I really believed this. I really believed that I was a super confident person. And when I started looking at the system, I was like, well, TE is tribe above self. And there was this claim that they spend so much time working with the tribe that there's this problem with self. And the one thing that I've wrestled with my entire life is, who am I actually? So how can I be confident in who I am if I don't know who I am, right? So I said, I don't know who I am. So here's where the kicker is. And here's where I really value what he's putting out there. Number one is, as I'm going through this, and as I'm going through this one thing, right? And I'm going through my life, and I see what I'm doing all week, all day, every single day. It's always about, well, I got to do these things for these people. I got to get this done for this job. I got to get this done for this. I got to get this done for that. I'm constantly moving, getting all these things done, Everything's being done all the time, right? And I was like, okay. And then there's these slumps that I hit. They're just like rock bottom. This boom, I hit this bottom. And this bottom, I hit a lot more when I'm not doing things. So I've always found myself just doing more, very similar to an Enneagram 3, right? So doing more, and avoiding doing the things that I know I have to do, which is like meditation, self-reflection, sitting, relaxing, doing things that are not really contributing to others, right? And so there's this kind of this martyring, right? I'm not spending a lot of time with self. So who am I? I don't know, but I'm going to keep going until I can't go anymore. So I run out of energy at the end of the week, and I'm like, holy shit, who the fuck am I? And this is what happens every single week. I hate weekends because I go, who the fuck am I? what should I be doing now that I'm not working and I'm not doing all these things? Okay, I'll start a new business. I'll do something else. I'll work on something else. And I'm really just martyring to the exploration of self, right? I'm not getting to know who I really am, so I run into these huge slumps. And his system pinpointed that. And so I said, okay, I'm definitely preferencing the tribe over self. There's this self-martyring thing going on. Throwing myself, but not in the sense of the ENFJ, who is also tribe above self, right? The ENFJ is tribe and self, and so is the ENTJ tribe of self. And I said, okay, this is my biggest life problem, by the way, is my weekends. They cause me more stress than anything else on the planet. When during the week I'm good, I'm in a good mood, I'm going, everything's great. And then boom, I hit this point where at the weekend I'm just like, oh shit. And so that oh shit moment, it starts on Friday evening. Like, what am I going to be doing this weekend? I have a plan of all the things I'm going to do, and I'm going to do them, right? So I do them, and I've traditionally done them through weekends, and just blazed through, and my weekends and my weeks blended, and I was just busy all the time, right? And this is where I was years ago. And I was fine. I didn't feel like I had a problem until I started actually working for someone else. And when I started working for someone else, my job's over at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., right? And so I'm like, oh shit, I don't got anything to give. I have nothing to give. So I'm just going to work on other stuff and then get it done now. And then during the week, I can get more shit done. So this is a loop, right? The problem is, as the more I'm using this TE function and building this work, get all this crap done, accomplish, move, get all this crap done, right? I'm just actually making the problem worse. It's like momentum. You're building this freaking collapse. So when I do this for like 12, this is really what happened to the original MBTV channel, right? Is I never stopped. I didn't stop for like 2 years. I was running a migraine clinic. I was president of a company, and I was running my own business, and I was producing videos. I was getting all this content out, and I just did not stop. There was no rest. There's no recreation. There's no recoup. There's no get to know you. And yeah, I got sick. So what happened when I got sick is I had to sit with myself, right? And it drove me insane. And then there was this huge, who the hell am I? So the truth is, I'm not confident in who I am. That's the bottom line, right? As I don't know who I am, so how can I be confident about it? That's the root problem. Now, as we move forward, we go, okay, now that I know this is the issue, what can you do about it? Well, you definitely don't want to keep doing what you were doing. And without Dave's system, I wouldn't be suffering. I still would be doing the same thing. Okay, maybe I just need to work more, but now Dave's system allowed me to see, right? Allowed me to see that I was actually trying to rectify the problem by enhancing the problem more, right? And the truth is, yeah, if you type typically as ENTJ and other systems, maybe you don't transfer to TE and I in his system. I don't. I'm TE NE in his system. So that's all fine and dandy. Don't give a shit about the titles, right? So ENTJs, they come off as very confident, right? There's this robust confidence, but yeah, with the tribe, they are confident. As long as things are going in the way they should be, or there's this robust confidence, like, great, I can just work with the tribe. They lose confidence when it comes to reflecting on self, right? So who the hell am I? What their confidence is not placed in self, it's placed on what they can do in the external, right? They spend all their time doing all this crap in the external, right? All this junk. Oh, I can do this and this and this all at the same time. I can juggle this and juggle this and juggle this and juggle this. They're doing this little song and dance, but they're not actually seeing what they're doing to themselves. They're cutting their own balls off in a way, right? So yeah, sure, they may project this great confidence on the outside. I mean, so there's a point where you realize, okay, great. As I said earlier in the video, DJ is he's putting a little bit of teaser content out there. If you want to know the real structure, you pay for the damn service. I mean, come on, the guy's put the last 5 years into this crap, and you know he put 5 years into objective studies, typed over 2,000 people objectively with 2 different people typing. Sure, those 2 people may share the same bias, but if you add a 3rd person or 4th person, they type the same as well. Now you start getting to this point where it's getting more objective, right? So Anyway, now I'm going to transition. I'm going to talk to you now that I've recognized I have this tribe self issue, right? So I'm like, okay, I got to spend more time with self. I'm recognizing that I need to spend more time with self. All right, so that's okay. So how do you do that? Well, it's not just go hang out with more people, hang out with the tribe. It's actually spending time on your own. Traditional introversion, right? So, and not being distracted by all the shit you have to do. So if I were to mount up and muster up all the time that I spent actually not doing, not focusing on myself, or rather, if I mounted up all the time focusing on myself, what would actually happen would be this paranoia, right? It'd be like, oh shit, I'm digging in deep into the rabbit hole, right? Crap. Well, that's the problem. So the thing is, you guys are not following me still. So I'm still seeing this crap on here. So back to what I was saying earlier on is these systems, they're very different, right? So they're very different. And that's where the problem arises, right? It's like you have this definition issue and this definition issue, right? So it's definition issues, and they're all subjective, right? Well, let me tell you about SI. SI is all about sensory recollection. Well, to you, SI is. To other people, SI is about something else. Dave's system is not MBTI, which means that the TE, TI, FI, FE definitions are not the same. They're not, right? So what is T? It's reasons. What is F? It's values. This is in Dave's system, right? T is reasons, F is values, right? And it's things that you value, like, dislike. It's not like values like I don't kill people, or values like, oh, I follow the 10 commandments. It's like values, right? Dave's Superpowers, that's his YouTube channel. All right. So point is, back to going that is I got to this point where I started naming all these values, these systems, right? Well, in Dave's system, I'm this, in Enneagram, I'm this, in MBTI, I'm this, and Socionics, I'm this, and this, I'm this, right? Well, yeah, well, those are still true. So technically, I'm all types, depending on what system it is, right? Well, in my system, which is Billy Bob's MBTI 3.0, there's a severe focus on values. Well, I'm a very value-driven person. So this is the point. So this is the point when I can say that I'm FI in that system, right? So sorry, I got distracted by something. Roger, yes, I've been doing business. I've been working on my own for a long time. I still run my own businesses. And yes, I've been building wealth for the last 10 years. Okay. So no, nothing new. I don't struggle with finding a solid footing. I know that aspect. I'm not uncomfortable. And I've been in business on my own for a long time. So nothing new, right? ENTJ, business, whatever, right? So back to what I'm saying though. The transition point. Okay, so now I've determined that I'm TE, FI at the bottom, self-sacrifice, right? My FI, which is, the introversion, right? The introversion, which in Dave's system is what, right? Personal, right? Versus tribe, self, values, right? Who am I, right? What is this sense of self? So I don't know. This is where the problem comes. My life is not the problem. Getting my footing in life is not the problem. Getting my footing with who I am is the problem, right? I've always tried to justify, well, I'm a businessman. Well, I'm a salesperson. I'm a marketer. I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a blah, 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 right? That's the crap that I've been shoving down my freaking foot in my mouth and my brain for the last however many years. But now I realize that this is the issue. And it's this first step, right? Then you figure out, okay, in the middle, you're a double decider, double observer, which means I can take in sensory information, okay, and I can take in concept information, the same, right? All right, so the introversion in the sense of perception in the Dave system, I have to clarify this, in Billy Bob's system, 6.0, but, in Dave's system, introversion is on the perception functions mean organizing, right? A preference for organizing. Extroversion and the perception functions is a preference for gathering, taking in information. Well, I'm always taking in new information. So definitely Always. Even I struggle a little more with actually organizing as much information as I take in. I'm reading books and books and books and books and books. All right, so that's what it really is. And it's just a ton of books and ton of information. And yeah, I organize a little bit and I throw it out there, and I organize it a little bit, and throw it out there, and organize a little bit and throw it out there. But the challenge, it's a lot easier for me to organize and gather than it is for me to what? Self-tribe, right? That's the hard part. So yeah, FI is the issue. Who the frick am I, right? So this is the identity crisis that happens on the weekends for people who type STE, whatever, or FE, right? Happens to FE too. FE is more in the sense of people though, right? Values, so it's more people focused, right? So FE is like, oh my God, I gotta help all these people, and I've gotta do all these things for these people, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of the day, they're like, oh shit, I don't have any purpose. I don't have any reasons. So, and the opposite's true, right? FI and TE, right? If you're FI dominant in Dave's system, your focus is on self, and you're like, why the fuck is no one listening to me? Because I mean, if they only listened to me, if they only understood me, then life would be great, right? If they only knew who I was, then all of it would fall into place because I'm so freaking awesome. So you know what? Fuck the tribe. I'm going to go travel the world in my hippie van that looks like a Volkswagen from the 1960s, right? And I'm gonna be a peace, bro, right? So that's the mentality behind it in a nutshell. That's the quick, easy way, right? So, all right, now changing gears. If you're done with the typology crap, I'm gonna change gears real quick so you guys can understand how this affects my life. So now it's about the challenge, right? What's the challenge? What's the issue that we're facing? Right, and people are funny, people are interesting, and I think the biggest interest is people. It's always fascinating, right? Is dealing with and trying to understand people. That's why we're all doing this, right? Typology. We're all trying to understand people. Well, the direction of this channel is going to be less about typology because Dave's taken care of all that now. I don't really need to do anything anymore. He's got the science. In fact, well, I don't want to say science yet. He's still trying to get it to be scientific, but he's got the objective data that he's gathered through the last 5 years. So I don't need to do anything. He's got the typology thing. Not a lot to add. It's very thorough. Take the class. You'll see what I'm talking about. Super objective, a lot more objective than anything else I've seen in the typology industry. So I can look at you and I can think, all right, I'm going back to typology, but one more point. So I can look at you and I can think that you fit the perfect definition of INFJ, but I have an archetype of what an I is and I have an archetype of what FE is, right? So I go, oh, that's an INFJ, right? So, but if I have a different definition than you and you're like, I'm not INFJ, there's no way I'm INFP, right? So if you have this concept that you know that you're FI and NE, who the fuck am I to tell you what those definitions are? Maybe you think those are different things for you and you define them differently, right? And even if the definition doesn't fit with the traditional definition, you can't even measure that crap anyway, right? So it's not measurable. You can't really measure it. It's very difficult to measure. So without having a measurement system in place and you can't test it, you can't measure it, there's no sense. And we're going to continue to argue about semantics before we even get down to what these things really are. And we'll continue to do that ever so much, right? Socionics is in that crap hole too, right? You've got this guy versus this guy, and this is actually what it is versus this is actually what it is. And you're this or you're this, right? In one socionic system, I'm SLE, and another one I'm LIE, and another one I'm LSE, another one I'm IE, whatever, IT, I don't know, ILI, or so. Point is, so that's really where the challenge is, right? And now going back to me, I realized that I've projected this sense of confidence, which I still will always continue to project because I'm very comfortable in the outer world. I'm very comfortable working with different systems and people and teaching and content and all that other crap. But internally, we realize that in a sense, the stereotype is semi-true, right? There's this mushy, soft core. Wow, that's fucking powerful, right? That's, oh shit, that moved me. So the thing is, the people who suffer the same issues as me, I was one out of the 512 different people, right? Because there's 512 different types, not 16. Wow, that's cool, right? Well, the people who suffer the same issues as me, right? They probably deal with a lot of the same crap, right? I need the tribe to identify who and what I am. So my relationship has to identify me. My work has to identify me. And when these things don't work, all of a sudden life is a shithole, right? Because you have no sense of self. You're just like, okay, well, I need the tribe to tell me who the fuck I am. So you ever want to drive somebody who has TE or FE first insane? Just let them not talk to anybody for 6 years. No social interaction. Don't let the tribe define them, right? And then they'll build something that will try to define them and just knock it down, and they'll cry and throw a fit and play in the sand and like, you killed my sandcastle. Point is, you guys still aren't really paying attention to what I'm saying. All right, so it's fine though. I'm not even going to go down that road. But the point is, we build sandcastles, right? Us TE and FE people who were first EJs, right? EJs build sandcastles. IPs wonder why the world's so fucking stupid and don't follow them. IJs are like, oh, chaos, there's a piece of information I didn't know and it fucked up my whole 12-year plan. Oh, shit, right? And then there's the EPs, which are like, oh, somebody's trying to, manipulate me. Oh, my God. Yeah, somebody's trying to control me, and I can't believe that I'm in, right? It's the same concept all the time, right? It's the same bullshit, right? EPs, control issues, right? They feel they don't want to be controlled. IJs want to control everything. Whoa, big mind blower, right? Yeah, so IJs want to control everything. EPs feel like they don't want to be controlled at all. EJs are obsessed with martyring themselves, and the other people, IPs, are wondering why the world's so stupid and nobody follows how great they are. And if anybody understood them, and then anybody knew who they were, how awesome they were, then the world would just fall in line. Like, oh, here we go. We all think this guy's so great, right? If you only knew how awesome I was, because that's an IP mentality, right? They have a good sense of self, FI or TI, right? They have FI as values of self, right? Personal values, TI is personal reasons, right? Well, the reason of this and this and this. So point is, how does this affect me? Well, first off, obviously I've typed with other things, but it really affects me in the personal sense because it takes that one little thing for that people to say, right? That one thing that people say that just like a little time bomb. Great. Somebody says something insulting. I can handle it on the spot. But then for 3 weeks, I'm busy. And then that third week, I finally calm down and that thing blows. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what that guy said? That I can't believe that guy would say that. It hits you way later because you're so busy dealing with the tribe, you're not even thinking about self. But then when you get that second to deal with self, you're just like, oh shit, right? Oh shit, I got to deal with this comment this person said. Whereas some of you are like, dude, who gives a fuck what people say? Well, you're not an EJ. You're not gonna be. You don't really care, right? You don't give a shit. You're like, how can this guy be so upset about that one thing that person said? I just don't understand. I mean, you'll be dealing with that, right? So that's the challenge that people have is they get upset over these things and to the other types, you're just like, what the fuck, man? That's not even a big deal. Why are you all tripping about that shit? You're like who cares? Like, you're a great guy. But they're like, fuck you. No, I'm not, because this guy said I was this and this failed and I did this business and I suck, or I've got this problem and that must be who I am because I'm really fucked up, right? So point is that if you don't know, use Dave's system. Okay, use it. I'm not going to be posting typology content. I don't need it. He's got it. He's covered. He's got all the data. What else can I add to the shit that he's done? I mean, it's really, there's nothing else to add. He says all this shit in his videos and his paid classes. It's pretty self-explanatory once you really start understanding the core concepts of it, right? So I'm not going to be doing shit about typology. What I am going to be doing is change work, right? So now that you know what your fucking issue is, how do you change it, right? How do you change it? So how do you fix the shit that you have a problem with, right? How do you fix that you have a problem with tribe and self, right? I know that I need to fix self. I need to have some sense of identity because one day it's this, one day it's that. Fuck everyone. I'll build a new tribe. Y'all suck, right? Whatever, right? Whatever you're dealing with, IP or IJ or EJ or EP, it's all the same, right? You have a problem. One, not just one. Obviously, there's all kinds of issues, right? Organization versus, gathering. You have all kinds of issues, but you have one big overarching problem. right? So that's the key. That's what I'm going to focus on is, do you value tribe more than you value self? Do you focus on what the fuck the tribe has to say more than you focus on yourself? Do you have that core issue, right? So that's where my focus is. I've studied NLP for, 3 years, 2 years, something like that, since 2015. So yeah, 3 years I've been studying NLP, right? And I've gotten certified, went through the classes, did all that shit. But NLP is the way that I really view it is that there's a process that's in NLP, and that's what I feel is the key is when you understand what the core issue is, right? Do you have self-awareness? Right? Do you have self-awareness your issue, or do you have the resources to get whatever it is done, or are you stuck in a certain particular state? Well, I deal with stuck state because I get stuck in my own bullshit, right? I know what being in a stuck state is. Sometimes I don't feel like I have the resources, but we all have the resources, right? And one way or another, and if not, we can muster the resources, the infinite power of your mind, right? Which we talk about another time. But the whole thing is you have the resources, right? And then you have self-awareness, which I feel that I'm a pretty self-aware person. I have my own issues, but I'm aware of where I fuck up on a daily, right? I'm pretty self-aware. In fact, I was self-aware enough to really type myself in Dave's system, and I just had him confirm it, which is what he did after, I guess he was generous enough to confirm it for me. But the point is, I typed myself being as objective as possible, right? And going, okay, here's my problem. Here's where I think my issue is. And I was able to do that, and he confirmed it. So again, if for all the people that are wondering what fucking type I am, I'm TENE, and I'm play, blast, and consume. Okay? So that's how you get that. Now, as far as the male, masculine, feminine, I haven't got that shit figured out, but that's just my micro detail. So I'm down to what, 256 types or whatever, 128. It's 128. Yeah, I'm down to 128. So point is that I was able to do that because of the self-awareness I've generated through change work, right? Being able to focus on my issue and what my problems are with people. And I've learned a lot in the last year or two. It's been a very hard 2 years, and it's continued to kick my ass on a daily basis. Just turned 30, dealt with a crisis, which was me recognizing how old I'm getting and not being where I want to be in life. And again, why is this an issue for me, right? Whereas I see other people, they're okay with doing what they're doing, right? They're going through life and they're like, yeah, I'm broke, but it's cool. Like, I'm chill, like, right? All I need is a good beer at the night, and I'm chill, right? I'm just going, what the fuck, man? How are you so comfortable in your own skin? Like, how are you doing this, right? So point is, DJ, no, that is not the different systems causing me to question who I am. You missed the first part of this conversation. So you guys are still not getting my point, right? It's not overthinking. It's not, looking at all these typology systems. It is spending way too much time with the tribe. That's the whole point, what I'm telling you right now. It is, I got to do this for everyone. 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 I got to get this done. I got to do this. The list goes on, right? It's not overthinking. I don't fucking overthink. I don't think enough is my problem, right? So it's not overthinking. It's not, spending all this time, doing all this other things. So the point is, some of you won't be able to understand this very easily because you have the opposite. You have FI on top and then TE at the bottom. Yeah, people still bring me back to this damn tribe topic. So point is that you guys need to focus on understanding where the problems are coming from, right? It is not this overthinking. I don't have analysis paralysis. I'm an action person. I go do all freaking day. Then I'm dead. At the weekend hits. I'm like, oh God, I got, who the fuck? Whoa, oh shit, I didn't realize I just said yes to everybody. And I took it all on myself. Oh shit, I just realized that I'm all about making the tribe better. I'm all about helping everybody else. Who the fuck am I, right? That's where it's coming from. It's not coming from, oh, well, my values are A, B, and C, and right? So That's the point, right? Well, I'm not going, well, you see, the values of this are conflating with the values of this, and my values are like, like blah, 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 and I'm mapping out this chart to figure out who I am. No, it's more like spending more time with everyone else and realizing that I'm a piece of shit at the end of the week because there's no more tribe to work with, right? I'm in this home alone by myself. Like, who the fuck do I need to talk to? What business do I need to run? I need to do something. And oh shit, my dog's looking at me. I mean, is he judging me? Oh, you got something to say? Oh, okay, right? FI kicks your ass when the tribe shit stops. Then you're forced to face yourself, right? It's the opposite for IPs. They're going in their all their little cavern and building whatever it is they're building, mainly ITPs. But the point is they're building whatever it is they're building, right? And they're doing whatever they think, and they come out in the open. Follow me, everyone, because you all have to see who I am. So I'm going to write this immense poetry and this immense brain exploding work that's going to make your heart melt. Oh, please come and view my heart melting material. And then people are like, that's cool, bro. Cool. Yeah, that's great. And then you're like, what the fuck? What do you mean great? I just poured my entire soul into that shit. So, and then you're like, yeah, that's cool, bro. I mean, it could use a little bit of work. I mean, I think you didn't capture what you were really trying to. What do you mean? That was the bleeding soul. That's who I was, right? That's going to be more your IFPs, and then the ITPs are like, dude, that was like the perfect description of life. I've defined the entire universe for you, and you're still dumb as fuck. Why? Okay, well, you're dumb as shit. Because, I mean, look, it's very simple. Look, universe A, universe B, universe C. I figured this out over the weekend while y'all were fucking having fun, fucking around. This is the problem that everybody's having at a core level, right? And of course, I'm exaggerating, making dumb examples, mocking some people, but the point is, it's still the same. EJs are blah, 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 like chickens with their heads cut off, going into trying to fix everything for everybody, make everything great, make everything dandy. Oh, let's make everybody happy. Let's everybody fucking do this. Let's build this business so everybody gets this. Make sure bring all of these people in, have a good time. Oh, okay, I got to get this done and this done and this done. And then next thing you know is like, oh shit, there's no more people. It's like you have this big ass party, right? And all these people are having fun, and you're living the time of your life. And when the party goes away, you get hit with this. It's like this big freaking wave, this tidal wave of bullshit comes over you. Like, the party's over. Now what am I gonna do? Ooh, let's have another party, right? This is the EJ mentality. We're gonna have another party. We just had a big one, but we can have another one. This is them overusing the tribe, right? They're over developing that muscle instead of going back and going, okay, let me start figuring out sometimes things that I need to do on yourself, right? Well, you see, this, I don't know who Girl Blogger is, but can't you just relax? See, that's what I'm talking about earlier when I said to others who don't suffer from this tribe self issue, they're just like, dude, what the fuck? Can't you just chill? Right? So there's this, it's so easy to chill. You just sit back and play a video game, or sit back and don't do shit and just have fun, or go stand in the sun, or go swimming, right? So, I mean, duh, you're an idiot, right? Oh, yeah, you're an idiot because all you got to do is just relax. I mean, that's super fucking easy. Go smoke a bowl, right? I mean, to them, that's the concept, right? That's the concept. And they're just like, oh, yeah. So they're wrestling with another issue. So when they come to me and they say, well, I have this issue, like, I can't understand why people do this. And I'm just like, dude, it's fucking easy. Like, what are you talking about? So it's the same. It's another thing, but it's in a different direction, right? I'm thinking like, what the fuck? Like, that's so dumb. Why are you tripping up about that? I don't understand. That's dumb. Like, see, for example, control chaos. This is one that doesn't bother me at all, right? I don't really struggle with these huge issues with control chaos. Sure, I like to have control. Yeah, sure, I like to have control, but it's not like if I lose it, I'm like, oh fuck, my life's over. Fuck, man, shit. So the point is though, but the idea is that I'm not going to that extreme. I'm like, oh yeah, it would have been nice to have known that, or oh shit, that guy got one over me, and that's it, right? Oh shit, and then you move on, right? You're like, oh shit, whatever. Everybody else is like, shit, my life, bam, 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 bam. Oh, IJs are blowing up, and they're having this issue with control, right? I got to control everything. In the ITJ specifically is much more about well, let's say INTJ, right? The person who is organizing and controlling the master vision, right? This is everything. Don't fuck up my plan now. Don't fuck up the plan, right? So I've got to make sure that all the concepts are arranged. Don't come over here and fuck up the concept, right? And then that EP comes along and says, "Oh, have you think about this?" And they're like, "Oh shit, now I got to rewrite everything. Oh fuck, I got to redo this all again. You fucking bastard had to come here and fuck up my whole fucking plan. Fuck." And that's the IJ problem, right? Y'all fucked up my fucking plan. Y'all fucked up the master concept, the master organization. Man, I spent years organizing this and you came and fucked it up, right? And the EP is the opposite. Are you trying to get one over me? You trying to get one over me? You trying to get one over me? Huh? You trying to manipulate me? I see what you're doing. I can read you. I read you. So I see what you're doing. You're trying to pull one over my eyes, right? You're trying to get one over me, right? They think that someone's always trying to fucking get one over on them, right? Because they struggle with that problem, right? You're going to pull one over on me because they have a control issue. They want to be constantly, all over the place. And the EP is like trying to pull one over you're trying to get one over me. And Trey says he has no idea what his problem is. So we need to do what with NLP? We need to cultivate self-awareness, right? That's the main thing with NLP is that you can cultivate self-awareness if you don't actually know what you struggle with. Big thing in change therapy too is identifying what your issue really is, right? So as we go through NLP, we start seeing these things that people like, I don't know. When people say I don't know, it's usually a self-awareness issue, right? NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. Hopefully I get around to where I get my other camera back. I'll start making some videos on some things on NLP. But right now it's just getting this out of my fucking system because it's like brain overload, right? Gotta splurge it all. Because guess what? I learned a lot. Got to go share it with the tribe, right? Let's spill it with the tribe. Okay, so people who struggle with tribe issues, like myself, they have this need to either let the tribe know or to gather all the information, organize it, and then do it in their own way. But let's go back to me because I'm a selfish son of a bitch, right? All right. So the concept is still there, right? So there's me, and I still struggle with this tribe thing. So yeah, Roger, I did try to start my own tribe a lot of times. I had my own tribe for a lot of times. I have had my own tribe my entire life. There's always been a tribe. I was always the leader of the tribe. Then one day I realized that there was one tribe that was like, fuck you, we don't want you. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll make my own fucking tribe, right? But at first I beat myself up. I was like, he didn't want me, man. That sucks. What's wrong with me? I mean, is something wrong with me? There's that point where, yeah, you realize something's wrong with you. And that's the EJ problem, right? Because that one thing he said that I was fucked up. Maybe I am fucked up, right? So look, I'm not here to talk about Dave's system. I let Dave speak for his own system, right? Dave speaks for his own shit because he's the one that knows it. He knows it better than I do. He knows his shit. The point is, it yields a problem, a core issue that you are suffering. So what is that core issue, right? So mine, obviously, tribe self. Other people control chaos, right? Other people, whatever, right? What is that core issue? Is it control of chaos? Is it tribe or self? Is it, organizing versus gathering? What's the core issue that you may be suffering with? And that's where we get into the detail of change work, right? So DJ asks, have a question for you. Do you feel like you've changed since your white ENTJs can be seen as jackasses video? Yeah, no, I mean, the opinion is still the same, but I've changed a lot, man. I did that in like 2015 or 16. I don't remember when I did that video, but yeah, man, I mean, this last 2 years has been fucking crazy, right? It's been fucking crazy. A lot of shit. I mean, I went through fucking hell, right? This is just... what the fuck, man? So there's a little bit of the learning experience of dealing with my identity without actually knowing it, not knowing what to do. So I just thought I could muster more strength to go build a fucking tribe. And then at that point, you're using the wrong muscle, right? You're approaching it wrong. But then you got to realize that demon you want to avoid at all costs. That fucking FI in my case, you want to avoid it at all costs. You're like, no shit, no, don't fucking, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. So you avoid it. So this is where change work comes into play, because you can't avoid it forever. It's going to creep up on you, in my case, every fucking weekend, but it's going to creep up on you when you least fucking expect it. And if it's control and chaos, that's another issue, right? So this is a whole nother category, which I don't want to go get into, but the concept is still the same, right? We all have some issue that we need to fix. We have a lot of issues, and some of them are just like, if you're a double decider, right? Your T and F are in the middle of your function stack, right? So that you're able to decide using one or the other quite easily, right? That's a double decider, and you can use one or the other without much challenge. It's like, okay, this time I'm going to focus on self, and tomorrow I'll focus on tribe. Fuck them, right? You can go back and forth without much of an issue, right? Or if you're a single decider like me, it's like T every time and fuck F, because if you go F, you're going down in a rabbit hole, right? So this is where you have that difference, right? So, but you still can have problems occasionally. If you're a double decider, you might value the F more than the T. Like Dave is a NI-FI, and so NI-FI, right? He's self over tribe, and so naturally he might have a little more challenges accepting some of what the tribe has to say more than he would want. Now, I'm not speaking for him. I don't know his own issues, but point is, like, if you would think, okay, there's a little bit of challenge there, right? So Roger says, I need an INFP in my life. They can really help you when coming to deal with your FI. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe not. The problem with it is that ENTJs and ENFJs need tribe validation, right? So a single person telling them that they're something and they're something and they're something is a challenge, because they're not really listening to a single person. They're looking at what the tribe is validating. Remember that ENTJs specifically are reasons that the tribe is providing, right? Everyone in the tribe has noticed this direct reason. This is the reason, right? The tribe validates this as success or not success, right? This amount of money, this amount of cash, whatever. This is the reason, right? This is what makes the FI go, well, I don't know who I am because I'm broke as fuck compared to what the tribe says. So this is where the problem really is, right? But I'm not saying that anybody or anything is a good match or not. What I'm just saying is that there is a challenge with people actually recognizing where the issue is. And this change work, what it really becomes, in my case, right, is cultivating more self-awareness. I have a lot of it already. I know what I struggle with. I know where my issues are. I don't always like to admit them to other people, but I definitely admit them to myself, right? And then number two is that I also have to build inner resources, and three is to remove the stuck states and spend more time with self, right? So the concept behind all this, let me wrap this video up, start tailing toward the end here. Y'all fucking distract me. I wish I could shut that chat off, but they've changed this recently. Oh, they have a pay button. Who wants to pay me, right? No, they don't have a pay button. This is super chat. I don't know what that means, but all right. So the idea is, I got lucky enough to know that when I went into Dave's system, that I had figured out what my type was pretty quickly. I think a lot of people struggle. More importantly, said most people are wrong about their type, right? Most people are wrong because they're building it off definitions that they it means that they build it off definitions that they've classified for themselves. Maybe you are a fucking, I don't know, INFP, right? According to MBTI, maybe you're something totally different in Dave's system. That's fine. Who gives a shit if you're a fucking FUCK, right? Who fucking cares, right? It's not about the type. It's about what the problem is, right? What you're struggling with and how to balance out this muscle imbalance. You spend too much time doing this, start focusing on this, right? You spend too much time doing that, start focusing on this. The biggest thing that I took home from the entire thing is that although my entire fucking life I've avoided building my own identity and understanding who I am, right? That's been my biggest challenge, is I thought the tribe validated who I was. The tribe told me who I was. I was great when everything was great, and I was shit when everything was shit, right? Other people can be thrown into this fucking horrible life circumstance, and they just muster this, oh yeah, life sucks, but I'm still happy, living the dream. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Right? So, but it comes from being aware of where the challenge is, right? Being aware of yourself and cultivating a certain muscle, right? So that's what it's about, muscle imbalances, right? And you just do something too much. Like if you're a bro and you're between 20 and 25 years old, you probably do way too many curls at the gym. Start working your fucking triceps, man. I mean, yeah, you get a little bit of triceps at the gym, but doing bench press, I get that. But you fucking focus on them, man. Stop just bench pressing and thinking you're going to hit your triceps good enough, right? So be warned that the danger of typology, as far as a whole, right? The danger of typology as a whole is really confirmation bias, right? You identify with a certain type based on how you see yourself. You start looking at the type, what the type's good at and what they're not. And then what you see is this, oh yeah, they suck at this, so I can justify me sucking at this. Or that's been my issue all along, right? That's been what I've been dealing with. And you mainly just justify it. You're like, oh yeah, that's why, right? Oh, well, that explains it. I'm self-acceptance all the way. I'm shitty at picking up sensory details, and that's cool, right? Well, that's not your life problem. That's just something you just justified for not being aware of your environment, right? You're just like, oh shit, I didn't notice. Well, yeah, you justified it because you're not being aware of your environment. We're talking about major issues here, right? What do you really wrestle with on a daily, right? Is it fucking control? Is it chaos? Do you hate chaos? I'll tell you, I don't like chaos very much. I don't, but I can deal with it. You know, it's not like it wrecks my life when there's chaos. Yeah, exactly. If you suck at something, just work on it, right? Well, the point is you want to work the triceps. Stop doing fucking bench press and thinking you're going to cover your triceps. Well, keep doing the bench press, but also hit your triceps. Stop doing those damn Friday night curls, man. It's not all about that, right? So if you thrive in chaos and you thrive in chaos and you don't want any control, then you're probably EP, right? If you thrive having a control of things, whether abstractly or concretely, probably an IJ. If you're uncomfortable with chaos, you're probably an IJ. So there's nothing wrong with being selfish. And I don't really think there is anything wrong with being selfish. I think the main thing is just understanding where you're at. And that's what this is all about, right? I wanted to share a lot more, but I think this covered the typology issue. I might maybe make another video in like 20 minutes or 20 years, but yeah, and exactly, unless you're self-aware, no system will justify your problems. Technically, fate, wind, ESTJs hate chaos the most? No, that is not true in Dave's system. That is true in some other BS MBTI system. It's actually IJs that hate chaos more than EJs, right? ESTJs, technically, I'm an ESTJ in Dave's system, right? I'm an ESTJ who favors NE over SI, right? So, that makes me an NT because I still prefer the intuition over the sensing, but I technically have the function stack TE, NE, SI, FI, right? So let me type that in here right now. TE, SI, TE, NE, SI, FI, right? Well, you can prefer basic MBTI all you want, as long as it serves what you got into this for. I got into for self-awareness and understanding other people, right? So, well, one last question may be unrelated, but I've always wondered, are ENTJs optimistic or realistic? Well, it depends on the person. I mean, what was your upbringing, right? So I have tended a little more on the cynical / realistic side than optimism. I don't really believe in. I've struggled with optimism for a long time, but I can't speak for every ENTJ on the planet. I mean, I only can speak for myself, and I say certainly I've struggled with cynicism, and I tend to lean on realism. Like, what's realistic? Or you have a goal? Well, what's the SMART goal of it, right? What's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based, right? What is that goal, right? So, the problem with this entire video is that I let you guys take control of this shit. See that? I let you guys, you motherfuckers, took control of my damn flow. But anyway, point is, this video does sum up the typology video as far as everything I wanted to get out typology wise. And the funny part about it is that yeah, exactly, Roger, you guys hijacked my goddamn video log. I was gonna cry on here, and I was gonna cry and tell you all about my life struggles and some of the biggest shit that I dealt with in my life. And you know what? The biggest thing and how I overcame it. I was gonna give you 3 tips to success as far as getting your personal success down. I was gonna let you all know some of the biggest NLP secrets that you can do today that could actually change your entire mindset. If you're in a stuck state, I was going to say, this is what you can do to change it like that. If you're in a problem mode, you can change it like that. But y'all fucking hijack this. And so it looks like I'm at the hour mark and I got to end this shit. So until the next video, guys, the tribe won this time, right? The tribe won this time. Anyway, we'll see y'all next time.